Okay, hi. So this is video number 4 on red flags of a narcissist. Red flag number 4 is charming. So it makes sense, right? If a narcissist or another manipulative person is, if their manipulations are going to be effective, they have to get you to like them. And so a lot of times they will come across as very likable, charming, witty, funny, kind. The covert narcissists, those guys and gals, tend to come across as you know like a Prince Charming kind of a person. Everybody seems to really like them. The narcissist, I dated two covert narcissists, Jack and Steve. Jack was very likable, very helpful. He helped me. I had a bunch of rental properties at the time from my divorce, and I was trying to get them ready to sell, and it was just it was just awful. It was like one headache after another, and he was so fantastic. He was, willing to put in long hours to help. He was the kind of guy that would, he would check on the neighbor's dog when the neighbor was out of town. We lived up on the top of a mountain, and we had this 4-mile dirt road all the way down, and there was maybe about, I think, like 6 of us that lived on this mountain. And we had a snowplow, because you had to have a snowplow, because if you didn't, you weren't getting out. And he would snowplow the whole road all the way down, and he would also go around to the different the older people that lived up there, and he would plow out their driveway. And he was very considerate. He was very humble, or seemingly humble. There were a lot of character traits about him that I would have never thought in a million years that he was a narcissist, because he was almost like the anti-narcissist, which was one of the reasons I was so confused when that whole relationship went south, and I found out that he had this double life, and everything that what it was up to, and it was sort of like I had two choices for a personality disorder to choose from, because I knew based on the behavior that I was finding that it wasn't way outside the realm of normal behavior. And I'll do another video just on, I'll do a video on just on my relationship with Jack, and then just on my relationship with Steve. And so you can kind of see the differences, and so you can kind of know the full story. But he, was kind of this anti-narcissist. Oh, so I was saying, so I had to choose between, well, is he a narcissist or is he like a sociopath? Like which one is he? And he was really, had a lot more narcissistic traits. Now I would use the term malignant narcissist. He didn't have a, history of conduct disorder. He wasn't violent, but he was incredibly charming. He had this, reckless disregard for himself and for others. So there was a lot of signs kind of from both: a blinding degree of selfishness, a huge sense of entitlement, lack of empathy, lack of remorse, extreme hypersexuality. A lot of the red flags. When I started researching those, I just kept thinking, wow, that's what I experienced. That was Jack. But he came across as very charming. He didn't have a lot of people snowed. My mom, for example, my mom never liked him. She said after we broke up, she's like, there's something about him that it just never set right with her. Narcissist number 2 that I dated, Steve, I had actually known him for several years before we started dating. That's a whole another story. But he was very charming. Oh my gosh. Incredibly charming, funny, witty, intelligent, just came across as the total package. He was the kind of guy that you would want, if you had a single friend or a single daughter, you would want to introduce them to him. He just came across as just the world's greatest guy. And I really thought that he was up until that relationship ended. And again, I found out he was doing all this nonsense. He was triangulating. He actually had a wife that I thought was no longer in the picture. Wild behavior. So, but it's that charm that is, it allows them access into our lives, because we all like charming people, right? Like we all like people that are funny and easy to get along with. And so they know that, and that's why they are that way, because they can't manipulate us or anybody if we don't fall for it, if we don't let them in, if we keep our guard up, then their con doesn't work. And I think it really is. It's a lot easier to think of them as they are like emotional con artists. And I use the comparison a lot between narcissists and other con artists, like dating, that you'd find on dating sites like Match.com or Christian Mingle or Plenty of Fish or whatever. These people, you know, the narcissist doesn't care about you. Their goal, like with these dating sites, right? Like their whole goal is to get money from you. They don't want anything else. Like the source of supply that you can give them is money. With a narcissist that's actually in your life relationship-wise, it's probably going to be some form of, you know, food, clothing, shelter, sex, money, attention, public image, status, you know, these kinds of things. So be aware of somebody that comes across as Prince Charming. There's a video, I will link to it at the bottom of this description. There's a video that I did on, it is called Why is My Fairy Tale Whirlwind Relationship a Red Flag? And it basically talks about the dangers of Prince Charming. And this is a story that I got from the local news. This gal had entered into this like wedding sweepstakes, and the whole thing was, you know, you share your story and then they're going to give you this, you know, really like, you know, 6-figure wedding or whatever. And I had a coworker who had entered this contest and wanted me to vote for her, and that's how I came across it. And as I was kind of scrolling through the different stories, I started reading this one gal's story, and it just like, I just felt the blood rush out of my body. I mean, it was, my blood just turned cold, because her story is to a T the idealization phase of a narcissist. And I'm saddened and I'm concerned, and I hope to God for her sake that I'm wrong. I hope that this guy is absolutely wonderful and he is totally on the level. But you know, I'd be surprised if he was. But I'm going to link to that story so you can kind of see what it looks like in action, and how other victims, even though she's not necessarily a victim right now, but how people will describe this whirlwind, this charming, Prince Charming character in their life, and how these things, and how quickly they play out. So her story is a really great combination of red flags 1 through 5. This is, it's love bombing, it's rushing intimacy, it's being a good listener, and it's being charming, and it's mirroring. So those are the top 5 red flags that you're going to see in this next video. Pay attention to them. Pay attention to the words that she's using. Pay attention to the speed at which they've moved. Pay attention to her background that she talks about and where she came from. Pay attention, look at how kind of isolated he has her. So the relationship moves very quickly. Now he's got her and her 3 kids moving in with him. She has it looks like she may or may not have a job. She has no financial support. She's relying on him 100%. He is her knight in shining armor. That's a perfect storm for an abusive relationship. So I'll link to that. If you have any, as usual, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, frustrations, ideas for videos, things that you'd like to see covered, things that you didn't think I covered adequately, or you just want to say hi, let me know. You can always chat me up on YouTube, or you can find me on my website, which is narcissistsupport.com, or on Facebook with my support group there, which is also called Narcissist Support. So thanks. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.